What's going on? What's going on? It is your boy Smooth Blaze, and I would like to re-welcome you to the blueprint, aligning the spirit to conquer the natural. Session 2, Part 1. Now, before we get into the major points for this week, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, select that notification bell and hit all so you would not miss one video. Now, previously on last week, we discussed what happens when you're too worldly, meaning that you only use your accolades, your certificates, and things of that nature that you gain on this earth in order to navigate and think that that's the best thing for you. However, you cannot neglect the spirit that's within you to allow you to go to that next level and never disregard that. But for this week, what we're gonna hit on and what the major question gonna be for this week is, what worldly expectations do I have regarding money? Meaning, the money that I gain on a monthly, weekly, and bi-weekly basis. What are my monthly responsibilities that I have to take care of? Some examples could be working to provide for your household. Most people work 40 hours, 80 hours, and they have to do whatever they have to do to ensure that the things have been taken care of for the household so that they can continue to live there, or you're gonna get put out. Example 2, on a rush to get your degree, trade, or certification in order in hopes of getting a high-paying job, meaning that in this space, you have to ensure that you have the qualifications in order to be aligned to get the financial contribution down the road. Meaning that a person that's in a trade may have an opportunity to get a job faster than a person that's in a degree because 4 years versus 2 years. Example number 3, your physical appearance aligning with your financial status. Meaning, if you're a person that wears suits, fitted shirts, cufflinks, things of that nature, and you drive these nice cars, just make sure that how you present yourself matches the money in your pocket. So if you're doing things out of your financial constraint or within your boundaries, it won't hurt you in the long run. You won't mislead people. And last but not least, purchasing items because people have said that these items represent high status and high quality. Meaning that if we're gonna purchase an item and we're looking to purchase an item, make sure it's within your frame or your budget, because at the end of the day, you don't want that to destroy what you work hard for. So make sure that you purchase items not for another person's status to say that you made it. Do it in representation of what you're doing. So after reflecting over all these examples, the word that comes to mind deals with non-negotiables. And after doing some research on this, I figured out that what this means is that it can refer to a price or good or security that is firm, established, and cannot be adjusted, or a part of a contract or a deal that is considered a requirement by one or more individual parties. In this world, the word non-negotiable, when I look at it, it's really meaning that as far as your finances, as far as those monthly things you have to pay for, it's non-negotiable whether or not you're gonna pay them. You got to have rent, you gotta have electricity, you gotta have water, you gotta have gas. You have to have all these things, and definitely internet, in order to sustain. If you do not pay these things, they will cut it off and you won't have nothing. If you don't pay your rent or you don't pay your mortgage, you cannot stay there forever because somebody's gonna come repossess the things that you have. So keep that in mind. So after looking at this definition of non-negotiables, here are some tips that I've used in order to keep my worldly financial obligations in line. This way, we won't cross all T's and dot all I's. And these are just examples. And if you feel like this will help you, please take a time to write things down, or if it's just an example that you can use. So number one, have a solid understanding of what your income looks like. Meaning, if you're making 35,000 or you're making 40,000, just know exactly what that looks like and what type of life that looks like. Because when you're going through this process, you have to know exactly what major things that you have is from a financial perspective versus what things that you can own. Because the best way to do this is to live below your means. So if you're making 40K, live like you're making 20, and you can make some things shake. Number two, create a budget to visibly see where my money is going. When you're putting together a budget, it is a reminder and a reality check for you that this is what it is, and this is all the stuff that's coming out. I can see exactly what I need to get rid of, and I can see exactly how I need to budget throughout this month, so I can see, or I can have some money going into the next month. So creating a budget allows you to see exactly where everything is going and allows you to see what you need to get rid of. Now, number three, understand what items are non-negotiable. Meaning, you got to pay rent, you got to pay gas, you got to pay electricity, you have to pay internet, because we can't do anything without that. So these are things that you consider non-negotiables. They have to be paid. When you're looking at things from the perspective of purchasing a new car, you're debating between you getting a new car versus not getting one. Your car that you have is fine, it's just old, but you can fix those things, move on, versus getting a new car that adds a payment. Non-negotiable is having a car, period. So you decide whether or not a new car is needed, or just maintain what you have with that and just pay insurance. Number four, what exactly debt do you need to tackle as a whole and develop a plan? Meaning, there's two ways to look at this. We all have some type of form of debt, but we have to make sure that we find ways to navigate through that so we can get through all that process. So, first side is the snowball effect, meaning that you set your debts from smallest to biggest, no matter what the interest rate, and you attack each one with full intensity. And the one that's the smallest, you give the most energy and most money towards, and all the others you pay minimum payments. And then you continue to keep that same momentum as you go to the next one and carry on to the next. Now, another side you can do is called the Avalanche Method, where you're doing the opposite. Basically, what this shows is that when you're going through these progressions, start with the major big debt first, and then you work your way down. And that energy you gravitate towards that builds until even a smaller debt. That's some way you can do it, but most people choose the snowball because you can see the progress more versus going through that big chunk and you trying to keep at it, because it can discourage you. So if it's me, I'm gonna choose snowball. Next will be number 5. Sacrifice or cut off any bills that you use for entertainment purposes. And this one that kind of hurts because a lot of people, you like to have Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, even cable. But if there are things that you have that is taking away money from you and is causing you to struggle more, get rid of it temporarily until you get yourself back into a situation where you can afford it. Number 6. You are an adult. Take accountability for your finances. Again, we all say we want to be grown. We say that we want to take care of business. We want people to respect us. But if we don't respect ourselves and allow us to be accountable for the mistakes we made and the holes that we put ourselves into, we're never going to get anywhere. So take accountability for what you've done and work your way to get back to a level status. And last but not least, it should be number 1. Allow God to guide you through your path. Meaning, as you're tackling through all these things, getting your finances together, because we know there's finance we have to pay for. As we're going through that process, just realize that God has you. Just lean on Him. Allow Him to guide you. He can probably navigate you through some things that you never thought you can do. So allow him to be your path and your light through this. He wants to help you. You just have to be open to realizing that you can't do it by yourself. So as we go through all these different steps, just continue to reflect on things that's going on from a worldly perspective as far as your finances, and work on trying to navigate in a different space. But as we close, I would like to thank you for checking out my video. Just make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Also, hit that notification bell so you will not miss one video. It is your boy, Smooth Blaze. And before we go, always remember this phrase. We cannot control the hand that was dealt for us, but we can move with a purpose. It's your boy, Smooth Blaze, once again, and I'm signing out. Peace and love.